right. Can you hear me okay? I'll go ahead and put your headset on there, Craig. There you go. How does that feel?
Call 240 traffic now.
Wow, sorry. That was loud.
There we go, that's better.
So you,
yeah, I'm good.
Good,
now.
okay.
Yep.
All right, we have oil pressure. You can see on the bottom right instrument.
Yep.
It's not the red mark, but it's idle. So I have it set at there's the. I think that's the guy from yesterday right there.
No kidding.
Yeah.
He finally came
Good
back
for
to his
him.
plane.
Yep. Good for him.
Are those as light as this plane?
No, they're that thing weighs, as it is now with him in it, I'd say it weighs 1,300 pounds, maybe
so
maybe a little bit more.
It's light
light. So when
Wow.
those winds came through here, whipping around, I mean, if I was in it, I'd have been scared. If he wasn't in it with all that, him and his girlfriend with all the extra weight, it could have flipped it, yeah.
Huh. They can see that, or you try to tie it down somewhere.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's really no place to.
They
Of
don't
course,
have,
you know, you don't really expect there to be 40-mile-an-hour winds blowing.
Yeah, sideways.
Sideways, yeah. Good for him. He did the right thing.
Yeah.
Uh,
He listened.
yes, he did. Let's go ahead and do our pre-takeoff checklist while we let this thing warm up some. Remember cigar, so I'll go ahead and check the controls, make sure they're all working like they're supposed to. Looks like they're working okay. Your elevator's working back there.
Yep.
Where's your rudder?
Everything looks good. Instruments look good.
Everything feel okay?
Yeah, feels really nice and
Good.
smooth.
Perfect. I is instruments. Top left, we always start there and systematically check those instruments. Set your altimeter. Probably is off. Yeah, it's at 800 feet. We're 800 like 70 feet here, I think, but we'll just
so right
kind of
on
round
800.
down
Yep.
so that we can do some head math. Air speed is straight up at 0. Little ball is kind of over towards the left a little bit. That'll work just fine. Remember, on that one, step on the ball. It requires no left rudder to go left, a little bit to go right.
Right, yep.
Vertical speed indicator, the upper right. I've never really even talked to you about that, but
Yeah, see, that's really never, that's just the climb one, right?
yeah, climb or descent. Like
Right, yep.
mine's a little below the 0 here, and so what that is, it's a very, very sensitive barometric pressure instrument. So it can detect minute changes in barometric pressure and tell you how fast you're going up or down. But it takes the instrument a couple of seconds to make that reading. So that's why there's always a lag to it. Your tachometer, you've been on the power before. You'll be on the power today.
Yep.
It's banging around, but it's close to 6 right now.
600, yep.
Yeah. Oil pressure is good. Our oil temperature is not. It's not quite at 30.
Yeah, say it's 25-ish.
Right.
But
But we're going to have you taxi to the end of the runway, and by the time you get there, you should be fine. It should be good to go. CIGG gasoline. Yeah,
totally full.
you already looked. So that's full fuel, and we have mixtures full rich inside by your left knee.
Yep.
And then right ahead of that is your fuel valve. It's on.
It's yep.
A is accessories. I'm going to actually have you do some, I don't think I've had you do that before, play around with the trim tab. But that trim tab is that black lever underneath the throttle.
Yeah, the elevator.
Yeah, so when we get up there, I'm going to have you, we're going to go up to, I don't know, 6 or 7 or 16 or 1,700 feet above sea level. And then when you level out, we'll bring the power back. And what you want to do is move that little knob until the airplane's level.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. That's
So
that's
something we'll do today.
That's more of a weight thing too, isn't it?
Yeah, every time you fly it, sometimes there's no one in the front seat. Sometimes I have a lot of gas. Sometimes I don't have any gas, and so the center of gravity of the airplane will change due to weight. So you can manually adjust the trim tabs back there so that the airplane's always flying straight, and you don't have to put pressure on the stick. So that's actually kind of nice. Anyways, and so the last letter is R run up, and we're going to check the engine up by the runway.
Yep.
So now, again, forgive me for having to tell you this. You do remember, I'm sure, but I'm going to have you do all the ground ops today. So you want your heels on the floorboards. We do
They
not
are.
want to make the mistake of getting on the brakes
Nope.
because that will be the end of our airplane
Yep.
as we know it in this color scheme.
Right.
And we don't want that.
Don't want that.
No.
Nope.
So Craig, I'm doing one other thing. There's your look down there. You see the windsock down there?
Yep.
It tells us that we have a little bit of right to left crosswind. We're going to use a long runway. It's just longer. It's closer. But remember, the same is true. The airplane's going to want to go to the left. But that little red that windsock tells you.
Kind of flying that way.
Yeah, exactly. So remember, it's going to want to go to the right when the tail comes off the ground. So again, those two forces hopefully will cancel each other out.
Gotcha.
So let's listen to the ATIS here.
Cambridge Tower information Kilo, time 1853 Zulu, wind 040 at 6, visibility
Yeah.
10.
And when we land here, we might land on runway 5. I don't know.
2.10, altimeter 3008. Visual approach runway 35 and 5 in use. Mowing operations in progress. Taxiway Charlie 1 closed. Taxiway Charlie not movement between Charlie 1 and Alpha. Mission contact verify information Kilo.
Okay, we listened to it all. So let's go ahead and you have the aircraft. I want you to add a little power. The tail wheel's not straight. It's going to want to go to the left, I think. Here, yeah. So I want you to head on over there closer to the Bravo taxiway, and I'll call the tower. Let's call it Kilo. Yeah, start coming right now because the tail wheel is not, it's full castering still. So go to the right, full right rudder. It's going to still go to the left. I'm going to help you get the tail wheel steer. Now it'll steer for you. Okay. Let me call the tower. Kalamazoo ground, Stearman 1 at the Air Zoo with Kilo ready to taxi runway 35 full length.
Stearman 1, Kalamazoo runway 35, taxi via Bravo.
35 on Bravo, Stearman 1. There goes that young man. Good for him.
Oh, baby.
You know, and we'll go to the right. I'm sorry.
All right.
The old adage that I've been using for a while now really works well. It is, there's always tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go full right rudder here.
Subject 2
There
outbound,
we go.
Kalamazoo.
There, when you keep going, there's a light right to your
There's a
left.
light right there.
There you go.
Sorry.
Good. That's okay.
Number 4 Whiskey Foxtrot, contact departure 121.2. Number 722 Alpha Alpha, maintain VFR at 3000, departure frequency 121.2 squawk.
So we want to go a little bit, I'm going to bring the power back so that it's starting to speed up here. So we go a little bit to your right, you hang your head out the left-hand side, and then gently bring it back to the left and hang your head out the right-hand side. So keep going to the right. Now look out to the left.
There we go.
Nothing's there. Good. Now start
Good.
coming back to the left. And you look out to the right. Nothing there. We know there's no airplane there, but that's not the point of this. The point is to kind of reacquaint yourself with the rudder and the ground handling characteristics of it. There we go.
Kind of forgot it's that touchy.
Oh, it gets a lot touchier when it gets going fast. That's the thing about the Stearman. If you want to reach over and add a little bit, just a skosh more power, that's fine. There you go. Let's take some concentration here.
Yep.
So now you can see it's starting to speed up, so bring the power back. There we go. Because it can get away from you pretty quick, as you can see.
Turn here.
No, keep on. We'll go to the
Okay.
end.
Come on, baby.
You're fortunate. Kind of here at this airport, you know, this taxiway's nice because it's I don't know how wide it is. What is it, 100 feet? It's pretty wide because of the jet traffic they have here.
Otherwise, you're going to be banging into.
Yeah, but you know, down in Florida, the lights are right on the ground because we don't have snow there, right?
Right.
So And that's the dangerous thing here is those things are above the ground pretty good ways. All right, so now we're gonna let this thing kind of just coast, just get straight ahead. And then you can see the turnoff. There's no aircraft ahead of us. Then I'm gonna have you do the magneto. They run up in the mag check here. All right, so again, we're not on the brakes at all. There's our hold short line. We don't want to cross that. No one's here today. What a gorgeous day. Wow. Huh, they said it was a cold front that came through yesterday.
Television ground, 722 Alpha Alpha.
Okay, so go ahead and slide your feet to the tops of the pedals where the brakes are and apply a little pressure. Bring the stick all the way back to your lap. There you go. And then put your left hand on that throttle. Gently bring the power forward, the RPM gauge, to 1,300 RPM.
Cross runway 9er.
1,300. There's 900 RPM. There's 1,000, 1,100, 1,200. Our oil temperature and pressure are looking good. There's 1,300 RPM. Now, on the far left-hand side of the panel, Craig, I haven't had you do this before. That's that black lever. It says off, L, R, and both. That's our magneto switch. There's little detents in there, so I want you to move it from both to R. You'll feel, there you go, we got an RPM drop of about, I don't know, 60, that's fine. That's normal, back to both. Now go to L. It's our left mag. Nice and smooth, so in case we lose the right mag, it shall run just fine on the left mag. Now I'm going to bring the power, we'll go ahead and bring the power on back. Now, just so you know, with the black lever, it's the ignition switch, obviously, right? So just flip it over to off real quick, watch what it does. Off, right? So back on, go back to both. So it's just like the key to a car. So what you did when you went to off, you grounded both mags. When you went to R, you grounded the left mag.
Gotcha.
So it's running on the right mag. When you went to L, you grounded the right mag. But when you went to off, you grounded both. Obviously, right now, both magnetos are running.
It can run on just one or the
Yeah,
other.
yeah, yeah.
No, good. That's
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah, just in case. The redundancy in aircraft is a good thing. Okay, so let's talk real quick. You can bring the power all the way back to idle. So remember, when we get okay to go, I want you to drive on out to the runway, square it up with the center line of the runway. We have 7,000 feet here, so we don't have to stop the airplane. Just kind of keep it rolling. We're going to look straight ahead. We're going to focus on infinity. And when we do so, peripherally, we're going to see where the runway ends and the grass begins.
Yep.
You have no wind today. So when you bring that power in, this sucker should go right down the center line of the runway. It shouldn't swerve at all. Remember, we're going to have the stick in neutral, and as she speeds up, the tail's going to come off the ground. And we might have to use a little bit of right rudder when the tail comes off the ground. Again, we're hoping that the crosswind will cancel that out. But when the tail comes off the ground, she's ready to fly. So just get the airplane off the ground where she's safe, because we're not going to hit a light when we're in the air. And then we want 75 miles an hour out of it. And then once we get 75 miles an hour out of it, then we start bringing the power back to 1,800.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Yep.
I'll talk you through the whole thing.
Yeah,
So let me
yep.
call the guys. I don't see anybody landing. Kalamazoo Tower, Stearman 1 ready to go, runway 35.
Stearman 1, Kalamazoo Tower, roger, hold short runway 35, traffic landing runway 5.
Holding short, 35, Stearman 1. You know what's
Turn
neat?
49er, turn left on Charlie 2 and hold short of runway 17.
What's cool about flying this thing the third, fourth, and fifth time is, you know, you're not nervous at all.
Right turn
No,
on approved,
not at all.
runway 35, full length, clear for takeoff.
Good to go, right turn out, Stearman 1. All right, head on out there, we're good to go. So yeah, at this point we don't need any more brakes. Heels on the floorboards, head on out there. The wind is calm, we have no wind.
Number 2 Alpha Alpha, verify you have information kilo. Roger.
There's your center line.
Zoo Tower, Western 27, right base 35.
There you go.
27, count the Zoo Tower, wind 020 at 6, runway 35, clear for the option. After
All right.
the option, make left track.
So look straight ahead and get it going. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you right now. She's going right down the center line. So sticks in neutral right about here. Start bringing the power up, full power. Ease it on in. There you go. And go ahead and get it. Yeah, we're going a little to your right, so go back to your left a little bit. Oh, not too much. All right, now bring the power all the way forward, all the way, all the way. Go ahead and commit to the takeoff, all the way forward. Here comes the tail. She's ready to go. Good, now lower the nose, get your airspeed. Get 75, there's 75, start bringing the power back to 1800 RPM. That's about halfway back. Come on back more on the throttle. Come on back some more, come on back some more. There you go, nice job. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Not a big deal. All right. Let's go ahead and make this right-hand turn. Air show smoke here.
He kind of stays right in the area you're at right now. Hold the low level. He's just departing. It shouldn't be a factor for you, but just watch out. Okay, he's spraying his wind or his smoke right now.
Okay, I got my second.
Now remember, on a right-hand turn, add a little bit more right rudder. There you go. Good. Now this rub right underneath us here is Kilgore. So what we want to try and do, we'll go on over this way. There you go. Good.
Buster 49, contact ground on 121.9.
And we'll just climb on up, Craig, to, we'll go to 1700 feet or so. That's going to give us about 800 feet above the ground. That's a good altitude to be at. There you go. And she climbs as best at 75. This, I'm going to say, is about the ideal day to fly. You know, the humidity level is low. It's, they say it's supposed to be 80 degrees today. I don't know if it doesn't feel like 80.
Yeah, it was 76 when we first
Was it?
came in, yeah. Yep.
And that airplane is off your right. He's landing on runway 35. East Lake is ahead and off to your left. That small little lake over here, Long Lake, is off to your right.
Yep.
Where we want to go is over this way. If you hit this heading here, it's about 6 miles away from us here. And we're going to climb on up, and what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to run you through a couple of drills just to kind of refresh you before we enter the pattern to land. And to be honest, with the wind calm like this, we're going to be landing with the towards the southwest, because it's easier. There's no houses down there.
Is that 1,600 feet?
Yeah, we'll go to 16, yeah.
Tower, 722 Alpha Alpha, ready for departure, runway 5.
72 Alpha Alpha, count to hold short runway 5, traffic landing runway 35.
Short runway 5.
And then once we get to 1,600 feet, we'll level off there, and then I'll have you bring the power back to 1,750 RPM, 1750.
Man, it's like perfect up here.
It is. Not bumpy at all. All right, so Craig, just for the heck of it, line up on one of these roads up here. You can see there's a road off your right wing that's east and west, and also north-south. So line up on one of those two.
On what, north, on east, west road?
Just make a right-hand turn. Well, that's the main run. I think that's Avenue 27. I think that's what I think. I never drive out here. People tell me. Okay, so we'll level off here and bring the power back to 1,750 RPM. There you go. Cool. All right, so I'll swarm you up. 45-degree angle of bank turn to your left. put that left wire parallel to the horizon and a little bit above the horizon. That'll be a level turn in the sky. There you go. Good. So you can see our section lines down below, the fence lines and tree lines and power lines. There's your road. That's a 180 right there.
Yeah.
270.
Hey.
Yeah. Now you're getting the hang of it.
Yep.
Get back in the saddle here. There's your road. Once you get to your road, we'll make that right-hand turn.
Number 2 Alpha, turn left heading 320, contact departure 121.2.
Left 320, contact departure.
There you go. There's a 180. .270. Very good. Very nice.
27, 35, clear to the option.
Now you've done this next one before, and you almost did it there towards the end. Give yourself about 50 more RPM. A little bit more RPM. Let's do a 60-degree angle of bank turn to your left. So that's that strut up in the front. So 45 is easy for you. You maintain the altitude perfect. Go a little steeper, a little bit more to your left. There you go. Great job, Craig. You brought the nose up. Hold her there. Good.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Woo! Yeah.
Feel the G-force? Good. That's a 360 there. Let's do the same to the right. 60-degree angle of bank turn to your right. We'll do a 360 up here. Good job with bringing it. Once you go beyond 45, as you can see, you lose quite a bit of lift.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what the
Start
G-force is
going
from.
down.
Yeah. Good. And we'll roll it on out. Cool. There's a road right down below you. Actually up here. You see this road? Let's make a left-hand turn. We'll kind of head down here to the west. Or, I'm sorry, to the east.
Yeah, lost about 100 feet.
They're fine. I said this to you before because I had you do those 60-degree angle of bank turns before as well, but the 60-degree angle of bank turn is on your commercial check right, and you can go up or down 50 feet, which is not very much, you know, and when I got my commercial, he had me do that first,
Wow.
and I was like, man, if I'm going to screw this up, it's going to be right now, and I think I gained or lost like 30 feet.
Yeah, if you try to keep that line on. But
Yeah, it was kind of tough. But once I got through that, I got through that one, then the rest of the stuff, I knew I had a pretty good shot at getting my commercial. Okay, while we're heading on out here to this strip, let's just try a lazy 8 to your left. So a shallow turn and bring that nose on up.
Expect clear shortly. Traffic is landing in departure runway 35.
There you go. We don't need any left rudder here over the top. Let that nose come on down. Let the nose come through. Yeah, let it speed up now. Start rolling it right. Shallow turn, up you go. And right about here, you'll want to use a little right rudder. There we go, good. Now listen to this thing, it's going down. You'll pull a couple of G's here.
whoa.
The steeper you go up, the steeper it comes down. And if you allow the airplane to get going, a good nice head of steam going downhill, as you see, you'll pull some G's coming out.
That was a weird feeling.
Yeah, let's make this left-hand turn. Follow that road. Now this, you see off to your right, over here there is a railroad track.
Yep.
See that? That's actually a really busy railroad track. It goes into Kalamazoo, or I'm sorry, to Battle Creek. I think it comes out of South Bend. Make a left-hand turn, just fly parallel to that railroad track, head towards Battle Creek. There you go. And just maintain about the altitude that you are right now, 1,600 feet.
Sky 110 with good Delta,
I wanted you to mess with the trim wheel. So let go of the stick, and then put your left hand on that trim. Let's see what this thing does. So no one's flying it right now.
Well,
So
that's kind of a weird feeling.
so just push the trim. I want to bring the power back a little. Okay, now push the trim wheel forward. A little bit more. A little bit more. A little bit more. All right, so there you can tell the airplane's in a shallow descent right now, right? Yep. So bring the trim wheel back. So basically, the trim wheel back, or the trim tabs back behind you on your elevator, are smaller versions of your elevator. So that they've done this before. Let's just say our elevator cable breaks. We don't have one in this. We have a tube. But if we have an elevator cable and it breaks, you can actually land this airplane by using up the trim tab.
Wow.
Right? Like right now, you can look at your upper right-hand instrument, and it's at 0, the vertical speed indicator. So the airplane right about now is level flight. Yeah.
There you go. Huh.
So that's what the trim tab does. So yeah, you don't have to have any force on the stick. All right, so if you, let's see, this grass strip is ahead of you about another mile, maybe 2 miles. So what we're going to do here, Craig, is we're going to fly over the top of the airport. And then we're going to do, remember, a big rectangle in the sky. And we're going to fly parallel to our runway. That's our downwind leg, base leg, and then final. It's kind of crazy because right near the end of the runway is some trees. You can kind of see some of the trees now are starting to turn color.
They started turning real quick when it got cold. But...
It's over the nose here. You're going to fly right over it. That is, I haven't been out here this year. That is, if you didn't plow it under.
I didn't even know there was one out here.
Let's see. It's out here pretty good. Okay, so it's got to be close.
Looks like it might be right there.
Oh, yeah, there it is right there. You see it? It's on that diagonal. So let's make a right-hand turn. I want you to go due west. You're going to fly, you'll see it. You're going to fly right over the top of it. That's right. It's on the south. It's on the south side of the railroad tracks. All right. So we'll roll the wings to level here. Just maintain. Don't let this thing go down any lower. Right about, what, 500 feet now, 600 feet. You see the runway right there?
Yeah, right there.
All right, so we're going to go over the top of it, then we're going to make a left-hand turn, fly parallel to it. You're going to make a base hand turn, and then you're going to make a final turn. And we're going to see if we can slow her down to flare it, but we're not going to let the airplane touch. And then we'll go around maybe 3 times. So we'll shoot some approaches in there. Looks like it's got it nice and mode for you.
Yeah, it looks pretty smooth.
Yeah. All right. So let's, it has a windsock. Yeah, we're going to be a little downwind. Let's make that left-hand turn here. Fly parallel to it. All right, that's about parallel there. We'll roll the wings back to level. Now here's how this works. When you get off a 45-degree angle from the end of the runway, at that point we're gonna make our left-hand turn. Bring the power back to 1,500 RPM. 1,500 RPM. Or actually 1,400. There you go. Good. All right, let's make our left-hand turn now. 30-degree angle of bank turn. We don't want anything too steep because the steeper your turn, the higher your stall speed. We want to maintain at least 75 miles an hour around here. Bring the power back some more. We're a little high. Bring the power way back, way back. Roll the wings to level. All right. So what you want to try and do is maintain about 75 to 80. That's about where we're going now. Bring the power back a little bit more. Let's have the airplane start descending. You want to bring it way back. Power way back to idle. Get it all lined up there. It's kind of weird. You got to get kind of close to that tree there.
Yeah, see it.
So yeah, lower that nose. Let it come down. There you go. You can. Power's at idle here. Over the trees. Good. All right, bring the power on in. So lower the nose. Give yourself 75 miles an hour. Now start climbing on up. Bring the power back, 1850 or so. We'll clear these trees. Just pretty short.
Yeah, it is. Well, you wouldn't want to miss. That's kind of weird with that tree, like right there.
Yeah, it's right there, yep, yep. I'll tell you what, we're going to fly longer today, Craig. I'm going to take you to a different strip. That's, I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's a lot longer. Just go, it's down in Vicksburg. So it's over the nose about 5 miles. We'll go there. So we'll climb back up to 1700 feet. That's a good strip when the wind's right on the nose because it slows the airplane down, but today, maybe not the best. And it is weird when that tree is right there.
Yeah, see, because before you miss it one time, you'd be in trouble.
Yeah. So I'll give you airplane jargon. Ahead off to your right, you see Indian Lake. Do you see it up there?
I do.
All right, I want you to head towards that. Yeah, you can see they're doing some work over here. You see that dirt that's going straight
Hey, it
up?
almost looks like they're mowing or
Yeah,
plowing.
so it kind of gives you, if you look at the dust, it'll give you some type of indication of what the wind's doing.
Which way it's going, yeah.
Another good thing to look at when you're flying an airplane like this is the corn, especially when it gets high. You can actually see the gusts going through the corn. You can see which way it's blowing. All right, so we'll level off here, and then we'll bring the power back to about 1750. There you go. You know what? We're going to do something totally different. Why should we go to an airstrip when we have this big field right here? You see this big old field, and there's a tree that goes, the tree line goes. We're going to use that. So I want you to fly over that way. Yeah, we're going to use that because that's plenty long and it's plenty wide, and all you're going to have to do is use a little bit of imagination. Okay? So in the middle of that runway or that field is a runway. So what we'll do is we're going to go to that field, and we're going to use the field on the right-hand side. And in fact, let's just say that the strip is east and west, right here ahead of you. So what we're going to do, I want you to go towards that field, and then we're going to make a left-hand turn, left-hand turn, left-hand turn, and another left-hand turn. You can see what wind we have. There's a little bit of wind there. It's kind of coming out of the west. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's much better than that last strip. We'll just use this. Because, you know, to be honest, I've been a loss. I mean, you're flying the air, you know how to fly the airplane, let's be honest. And let's just, in our mind's eye, there's a road that's right down below you that we're right over the top of. That's east and west, okay? So the runway is going to be in the middle of the field, and it's going to be east and west as well. Good, let's make this left-hand turn. We're going to call this the crosswind. We want to go due south. And we're at about 1,000 feet here, so let's go ahead and descend down to 1,600 feet. 1,000, you can bring the power back a little bit. 1,600 feet. There you go. Now, I want you to listen to the whistle of the wind in the wires here. Good, let's make another left-hand turn. So this is going to be our left downwind.
46, turn right heading 050, contact departure.
So we want to go
Right heading 050, contact departure, 164.
back to the east. There's your runway right there in that big field on the other side of these trees.
Yep.
So good. All right. So the end of your runway is going to be right there, parallel to those that road, right by that road. So we'll bring the power back here to about 1,400 RPM. RPM, and what we're looking for, Craig, is right where you're at, about 75 to 80 miles an hour. Good, let's make a left-hand turn, a 30-degree angle of bank turn, maintain your airspeed. And so we want to do a 90-degree turn to your left, so we want to go to the north now. Okay, that dirt's kind of going straight up. There you go, so this is what we call your left base, right here. All your turns are to the left. Now, when you're ready to line up, make this left-hand turn and line up with your imaginary runway, you go ahead and do so. And the nice thing on this approach is if you keep the approach a little bit on the high side, on final, you'll be able to see your runway over the nose. If you're low, it's really hard to see the runway. Your only obstacle here, Craig, is on the end of the runway or power line.
I say I'm seeing power lines right
Good,
there.
so lower that nose, let it come on down. We'll bring the power back. There's a guy walking on the street down there. So listen to it. It's the same deal. Good. Perfect. Start gently bringing the power on in. Good. And we'll climb back on up. 1,800 RPM, so that's a pattern right there.
Felt pretty good,
Yeah,
actually.
and you don't have the stress level of being next to a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
You want to try one more?
Sure.
Okay. So here's the thing on the approaches with this airplane or any airplane. If you learn how to fly at a certain, like say Kalamazoo, and all your landings are at Kalamazoo, you're going to be pretty good at Kalamazoo.
Right.
But as soon as you go to a different airport, all your visual cues are different. You're not going to be as good. But if you learn to shoot the same approach every single time, same altitude, same power settings, then it doesn't matter where you're at. You just do the same thing all the time.
Sense. That way you get used to the same thing over and over and over.
Exactly. Good. So again, we want to start off at 800 feet above the ground, so we're trying to climb up to 1,600 feet here. Because if you start lower, then obviously your power settings are going to be different. All right, we'll start our left-hand turn here. There's that road right off your left wing. That's east-west. So we're seeing if we can we'll climb up another 300 feet if the airplane will do it by the time we get to that road up there that we're going to cross over the top of. It's nice having a full tank of fuel,
Yeah.
but the payoff is it doesn't climb so good because the airplane's heavy. Keep on climbing. Get a little bit more altitude out of this thing. Okay, so we'll level off here, Craig, and we're just about at 800 feet. So there's your road. So let's just again say the end of your runway is right off your left wing. We're going to bring the power back to 1,400 RPM, and then you'll want to lower that nose and maintain 75 to 80 miles an hour out of it. There you go. Now, The other thing, I don't think I told you this before. I know I have in the past, but listen to the airplane. You can hear the whistle of the wind in the wires. And so that whistle right now means you're going 80 miles an hour. That's what you want. Let's make a left-hand turn now. There's a tower down below you. We're way above that. Good.
We should fly over that guy picking his corn.
Yeah, he'll be happy about that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Now, look to your left. I think we're starting to get a little low out here, so bring the power in a little bit more. Yeah, because if we're low, you got to bring power in. If you bring the nose up, the airplane will just slow down. You adjust your rate of descent by using the throttle. You adjust your speed by pitch. Now look at your airspeed. Now it's getting down to about 70. Now it's getting a little slow. There, all right. So same as before. Now I like this much better. All right, so start bringing that power back. The airplane's going to start coming out quicker. Good. Airport's made, so we'll pull the power to idle. Good. Perfect. Start bringing the power on in. So the deal is, you got the pattern down. That's the same thing you're going to do here in a little bit. But when you flare the airplane, you got to make sure it's going straight.
Right.
And you got to listen to it. And that's what you're going to know. You're not looking at the airspeed indicator, listen to it. Very good. And we'll make, there's some houses right ahead of you. Let's make another left-hand turn so we're not flying over the houses low. There we go. There's some power lines here. We'll kind of parallel those power lines.
580, runway 28, visual 35. 580, runway 28, tell me Utah, when you call them, runway 35, clear to land. Clear to land, runway 35, 028.
There we go. I try and be a good neighbor. I don't want to...
Yeah, make them mad.
Yeah, make them upset. Although I've followed an awful lot of people that live around this area because they see the airplane, they're like, oh, I want to do that.
Right. Yeah. Get your business. Cool. Anything else you want to do? No, that felt pretty good. It was kind of nice just doing something a little different.
Yeah. All right, let's make this right-hand turn. This is Eagle Lake, or Indian Lake. We'll make this right-hand turn. I don't know the name of this lake here.
That's Pickerel Lake.
Pickerel?
Yeah.
There's Austin Lake there. I want you to head over towards Long Lake. And just keep it at about 1,500 feet here. And then we'll level off there, then we can bring the power back to 1750. There we go. Cool. All right. So what you were doing, Craig, earlier, I was having you do patterns, and that's how you shoot a pattern at a normal airport. Well, non-controlled airport. We're going back to a controlled airport. So we're not going to shoot the pattern. What they're going to tell you to do is enter right base for runway 35. So we're going to cut out the right or the downwind. So when we get to the lake, you're going to make a left-hand turn towards the west, and then you're going to make another right-hand turn towards the runway. Here's the big deal. It's kind of cool. We're going to play a video game for pilots. There's 4 lights on the left side of the runway. When you're above the glide slope, all 4 lights will be white. If you're below the best glide slope, they're going to be all red. So what you're looking for is 2 whites 2 reds, okay? 2 white lights and 2 red lights.
Is that the ones on the ground?
Yes. Okay. And if you keep them there, it'll bring you right to the sweet spot of the runway. All right, so we'll bring the power back to 1750. All right, so there's an air jet right ahead of you. So let's make a right-hand turn.
John Alpha, roger. Caution turbulence, runway 35, cleared for the option.
All right, there's a Hawker jet there. Okay, so let me call on the tower. There's this guy to your left. There's a Cessna 172 on here someplace as well. Altitude tower, Stearman 1, rubber, long leg. We're ready to come inbound for 35.
Stearman 1, roger. Do you see the Hawker on shore final in sight?
Inside for Stearman 1.
Stearman 1, roger. Follow the Hawker, caution turbulence, runway 35, clear for the option. Or correction, clear to land.
Clear to land behind the Hawker, Stearman 1. All right, let's make a
Alpha,
left-hand turn.
you're now number 3, extend your down. You're following a low-level bi-wing just about a mile and a half southeast of the field.
We'll go towards the visor point there.
Having in sight, 2 Alpha Alpha.
South Alpha, roger. Follow the bi-ring, number 3, runway 35, cleared for the option.
2 Alpha Alpha.
That's funny. 2 Alpha Alpha. All right, so line up on this road, just like you did before. This is east and west.
Charlie Tower 5200 Charlie's with you on the visual, runway 35. 5200 Charlie, Kalamazoo Tower, roger. Report 5 out.
Now, when you're ready to make a right-hand turn, I want you to go ahead and do so. Line up the airplane with that runway and look for those lights. And bring the power back to about 1600 RPM. All right, right about here. See those lights? Greg, you see those lights?
I do.
All right, so that means we're high, so bring the power back. Yeah, let's start letting the airplane come on down, and let's see if we can get 2 reds and 2 whites there. Wind check.
Wind 060 at 3.
All right, so bring the power back some more. And the reason why I asked him for a wind check is we're landing behind a jet. So if the wind is 060 at 3, the wind's going to be blowing the turbulence to the left.
Clear your base upon your number 3 following Cessna 172 on about a mile and a half left base. Okay, we'll square our base 520.
All right, so bring the power back more
5 out now.
and lower that nose. I'm going to have you do this. Just make sure your heels are on the floorboards. I'm going to fall through with you. So we're still a little high, and we're fine. There you go. The wind is going to kind of be blowing you to your, a little bit to your left.
There they are. Oh.
They're good. All right, so don't disregard that. Now look straight ahead. Now flare the airplane. Now not too much. Let it come on down. Let it come down.
0 Charlie number 3, runway 35, clear to land.
All right, so we're letting this
Number
thing
3,
slow
clear
down.
to land 35, 5200 Charlie.
Keep it going straight. There's an airplane. Let you.
Stearman 1, Bravo 3, Bravo to the air 0, remain this frequency.
Stearman 1. All right, I'm gonna get a little bit of brake on here, not much. All right, so we'll make a little baby left-hand turn here. Not too much, because it'll ground loop on you here. Good. Okay, cool. Add a little power head on in. So that was fine, but
Yeah,
the only thing is if you ballooned it a little bit,
Yep.
and so that's why I added a little bit of power. There we go. Well, did you enjoy yourself?
I did.
I hope that I made you sweat a little bit, made you
did-
work.
That right there kind of got me a little freaked out.
The whole landing thing?
Well, it was just, it started, you could feel the tail wanting to come around and
Yeah.
touch.
Oh, you mean on the taxi there? Or when we
well,
landed?
right on the landing,
Yeah.
yep. I'll let you have it.
Okay. It's just, the airplane does not want to go straight down the runway.
You could feel that, and I was kind of watching what your feet were doing, so
Yeah.
I kind of knew maybe next time what expected. Part of that's the wind too, isn't it?
Yeah, you had a little bit of a crosswind, and it's when the airplane like this, I kind of want some I don't like it when it's calm because you get wind coming from all over the place. You know, there might be a gust from the north, and then it goes calm. Then there's a gust from the south, and what you don't want with this thing is landing with any type of tailwind.
Right.
Because it's very unpredictable when that happens.
And the thing is, you don't really have full control of that back wheel, do you?
You want wind on the nose because it helps slow the airplane down as well.
Well, that was fun.